Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Husband!
Wife!
Do you know what we're doing today?
Well, today is a special episode.
That's very special.
Yeah, and I think we're going to cover some stuff about things.
Oh my God, really? That's how we're leading in. Okay.
Yeah, well,
okay.
I mean, it's, I usually leave it up to you to tell everybody what we're talking about, so... I realized I was about to say it, and I stopped myself by saying that. So
okay.
You should be proud of me.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today?
We're talking about the rise of atheist megachurches.
Okay.
That was like the headline.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're not.
They're
churches.
not. Right. Well, okay.
I mean, I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
That's what we're here to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You ready to get into this?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okie dokie. All right, we are back and we're going to talk today about some really cool non-church church.
Okay.
And I have been talking about wanting this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it actually existed. And I'm a little bit mad that nobody told me.
Well, I joked around earlier on our podcast about starting the, sack shacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it was
sack shack.
Yeah. I thought that'd be fun. Like have little shacks that we just like pop up across the country and it's like an atheist gathering point called a sack shack.
Well, apparently those already fucking exist, but they're not shacks and they're cool and they're international. International.
Very cool.
Yeah. So let's talk about
I'll
it.
happily franchise my idea though, if anybody wants to take up that mantle.
All right. So the headline read that this is the rise of atheist megachurches. Okay, and there's like some people that are really mad about the use of the word church, like how dare it's not a church without God.
Well, sure.
And it's like,
but then again, why shouldn't we get some of the tax savings?
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying.
So atheist megachurches are more commonly known as the organization Sunday Assembly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've actually heard of them. So,
it's sundayassemblies.org.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
They're also called secular congregations.
Sure.
Because, a congregation is just a gathering, a group of people.
Right.
You know what? And I apologize. I said sundayassemblies.org, but it's not. It's one assembly.
Yeah.
It's sundayassemblies.org.
But they have multiple assemblies.
There are multiple.
But it is only one assembly.
There's only one organization.
So it's one made up of many.
Oh my God. All right. And so the quote that's on their website is, "We are a global, secular, non-religious movement for wonder and good. We meet to celebrate life together in congregations and communities around the world." And I'm like, oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was so excited. I was like, hang on, what?
No, we've talked about how one of the things, like in multiple other episodes, actually, we've talked about how one of the things that's missing from the secular and atheist community is that togetherness that church brings to people that are part of a church, right?
Right.
And that's something, not everybody misses it. Not everybody wants it.
Right.
But it is something that a lot of people do miss about that aspect of their lives that's gone now.
Well, yeah, people that have left religion in particular are the ones that are going to miss that the most. But people that didn't grow up in religion or who just were kind of like, one way or the other, take it or leave it kind of thing, like they may feel like all my friends have this like group or club that they go to, but somebody compared atheism to like it's a not stamp collecting, like
non-stamp collecting.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you go a place and you talk about not collecting stamps. Like
right.
What? Like
no, but I think it's more about celebrating our shared ideas for that thirst for knowledge, or that idea that we are curious about the world instead of shut off from it.
Yeah.
And I never really did go to church much. I mean, I've been to church, but I didn't go much. And I will say that one of the things that always struck me about people that did belong to a church is that automatic support group that you have built in.
Yes.
Right? Like you have people that will help find you a job, that will help you through financial hardship, that will bring you food if you need food. Like there's things
even
that you...
things for like when you get married, they might supply the church, or they might supply the rehearsal dinner meal, or, you have kids and they might help you get scholarships for your kid.
Yeah, it's not only beneficial for community, it's beneficial monetarily. There's a lot of benefits to that community that exists outside of the religious aspects of it.
Right. The community part is the big part. And I can relate to wanting to find something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm always like looking for book clubs and writing groups and stuff like
Brady
that.
from our Discord, we're doing this on Discord, just mentioned, it depends on which, religious denomination you're talking about, but they might also supply a wife.
Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Brady. That's... Yeah, there are a lot of pre-order what's it called, where the families like plan who you're going to marry.
Yeah,
like,
you caught me off guard here. I'm struggling.
Yeah. I was getting confused with like mail order bride from Russia.
Yeah, no.
And confusing that with the ones like
arranged marriages.
Arranged marriages. Thank you. Fern. Yeah. Hello, Fern, by the way. Yeah, so Sunday Assembly is just a non-religious gathering, and there's no doctrine and no deity. And that's like the ultimate, like, and there it is.
Yeah.
It was the organization itself was co-founded by two comedians, Sanderson Jones and Pippa Evans. I love the name Pippa.
Oh, that's a great name.
It's so great.
Although Sanderson, you said Sanderson? His name?
Sanderson Jones.
Sanderson's a pretty,
like for a first name, like
that's a name. That's a name.
Yeah. Like that's heavy for a kid, Yeah.
Right.
So they're two comedians, and they were both on their way to a gig, and they were like, wouldn't it be cool if? And they were like, oh my God, let's. Yeah. So they wanted to do something that was like church, but totally secular. And they had both come from a churchy background that just like no longer fit. Now that they like, were grown up and been in the world a bit.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. They wanted something that was totally secular and inclusive of all, no matter what anybody believes. So they're not saying that you don't have to believe in God.
Yeah.
They're just saying, but don't bring it with you.
Right.
Just don't be a dick.
Leave that shit at the door.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. The first meeting, and this is a pretty recent group, actually. The first meeting was held in 2013 in London. That's where it started.
Well, it's not that recent. That's like,
okay,
like
but it's not like the 90s or the 80s.
Years ago.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fairly recent.
It's in the 2000s. That's like in the grand scheme of things, it's like yesterday.
I mean, in this day and age, yeah.
Yeah. Almost 200 people turned up to the first meeting. Like that's how
really
hungry people were for this.
Oh, that's cool.
300 people showed up to the second meeting.
And I think it might have helped that they were comedians.
Yeah.
They probably had people
platform.
That they were, they had a platform.
Yeah. So. But 300 people showed up to the second meeting, and now sometimes up to 600 people attend meetings.
Very cool.
Yeah. soon people all over the world were starting to ask, can we have one of those?
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm like, can I have one? And that's actually the name of one of my sections.
No, I don't know if you recall this, but when we first started going down this path of, when we first started doing our podcast,
yeah,
we started asking, we were, and actually, no, even before we started our podcast, we were trying to find humanist and secular groups in our area.
And there's not any. They're down in Cincinnati.
There are, but they're not. They're meetup groups. They're very small gatherings. Like, I mean, I went to one that was around here. It was literally 2 other people.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. That's fantastic. It's
nice.
It's a way to meet somebody. But I mean, you're not talking about a place where you can socialize. You're talking about
they get together for lunch.
Yeah.
And then, you don't see them again for a month or whatever.
Sure.
And it's nice that exists.
Right.
But it's not exactly like we wanted something a little more hefty.
No, and I think that having that regular place where there's a lot of people that know it's going on and are willing to show up is a nice thing to have. Like it's something to look forward to that's outside of the norm. And it's a place where you can find people that you don't have to be careful around. Where we do have to be very careful as atheists in the world as to what we say and who we say it to.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of pushback against the ideas of atheism and even secularism.
Yeah. So as of December 2019, assemblies had been established in 48 locations around the world.
Wow.
Yeah. The majority of them, of course, are in Europe and the United States.
Yeah.
So
sure.
They are run and funded all by volunteers and their communities. So growth in them kind of topped out.
Okay.
Because it is hard to maintain a group that's all volunteer run.
Sure.
And you have to have a large enough amount of people regularly showing up if you're trying to get that next level status of tax organization kind of thing for each chapter.
Right.
So they are kind of the organization itself and the original branch.
Yeah.
They are still a tax-free organization, but the various branches and other locations are very loosely affiliated, and each of them kind of has to
figure it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's not to say that the branches don't help each other. They very much do.
Right. But it's hard to have a multinational organization with a few volunteers here or there.
It is.
So.
And there aren't enough people in the world, honestly, who are excited and vocal about, I don't believe in God, but I still want to hang out with other people.
Well, and that's something that has been crossing my mind quite a bit, right? I think that I've not softened my view on what I think religion is doing to our society. I have not softened my view on the harm that it does, but I have softened my view somewhat to be a little bit more open to people that don't understand and try to take the time, or at least not be angry at everybody. So I think that the Sunday Assembly is a way to break in. If it was pushed a little harder, if it was pushed a little more, it could be a way to get that message of secularism out there, because it's a friendly voice. It's a welcoming voice. It's not an angry voice, And I'm not saying that we can't be angry too, because I am fucking angry at what's going on.
Hell yeah.
But to pitch it to your average Joe on the street,
right? You
don't want to be angry at that person. You want to be angry at the politicians. You want to be angry at the policies. You want to be angry at the entities that are, trashing our fucking country.
Right.
But the person on the street who's religious and doesn't understand what it is to be secular or atheist, they're not the person that you should be angry at, unless they've done something specifically to be, shitty.
I don't know. I'm going to push back on that just a little bit, because sometimes the person on the street is the person I'm pissed at, because they do want harm to come unto people I love. And specifically,
that's where I said it depends on if they've done something. If they specifically advocate for that kind of thing,
They don't have to have done something. the fact that they are pushing, voting for, and vocal about, and adding their voice into that is enough for me to be angry about it.
I'm speaking more of maybe not judging people until you understand their total viewpoint. Like, just because they're Christian doesn't mean that they're bad.
Just because you're Christian doesn't mean that you're anti-LGBTQIA. But there's a likelihood of it. And once you confirm that, then I am going to be angry with you.
Sure.
And that's just the way that goes.
I absolutely agree with that. It's that generalized message that I feel like maybe doesn't get pushed out enough as a welcoming message, and it's more of a anger message.
Right.
Even from us.
Yeah.
And
you're right.
I'm not trying to walk back our platform. I'm just saying that
I feel
it's
like
nice to have.
We take turns doing that. Like today, you're the nice one, and I'm the angry one.
It's nice to have a group out there that's doing something positive. Mm-hmm. And there are other groups. I mean, you've got Freedom from Religion. You've got Recovering from Religion. Mm-hmm. You've got,
humanist groups and organizations. I mean, even really the what is it? The Unitarian Church. They
to an extent,
lean very.
They still invoke gods.
They do, but they are
deities.
Also more community driven.
Sure, so, they're definitely more progressive than.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Any of the other Christian churches out there.
Yeah.
So
generally speaking, very generally speaking.
Yeah.
So, where was I?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So these groups are run and funded by volunteers from their communities. And in 2018, the journal Secularism and Non-Religion, which I need to subscribe to that. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I'm surprised it's a thing, actually.
Secularism.
I mean,
and
I'm surprised it's a
non-religion.
thing that exists because magazines and stuff just don't really.
Right.
They're not a thing anymore.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe it's a blog. I'm sure it's probably still a blog.
Right. And there's still a lot of magazines that, while they have switched to an online format, they are still around. Plenty of them.
Sure.
So they published a 6-month longitudinal study of Sunday assembly participants, which showed a statistically significant improvement in participants' well-being just from being around other people and just from being part of a community-driven organization and just from feeling that they belonged somewhere.
No, I think that there is a lot to be said for that.
Yeah,
definitely.
Totally. They meet annually, the international groups.
Okay.
All get together for one world party.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited about this. We missed last year, they met in LA. This year in September, so, right around the corner, they're meeting in Scotland. Obviously, not on our radar, something we're able to do. But I'm where are you going next year?
Yeah.
I want to find out, and I want to be part of that.
Yeah.
I printed out their newsletter so that I could read it. They put out a newsletter every month or every season.
Yeah.
The most recent one was from winter, so January, February timeframe of this year.
Sure.
And they talked about the last year's assembly and how cool it was, and just all the different people that came together from the various chapters. Yeah. In one location. And since it wasn't in LA and there were the fires at the time, they all pitched in to they hooked up with one of the local I just lost my train of thought. Wow.
Churches?
No. Atheists.
Okay, atheist groups.
Yeah, I was like, what are we? Atheists.
Yeah.
They hooked up with one of the local atheist groups and did a donation drive to help the people who had been really harmed by the fires and lost their homes.
Yeah.
So,
that's great.
Yeah, it was really amazing to see how it matters to them.
No, I love things like that where atheists and secular groups get out in front of the public and do something, good. Yeah. Right. One of the things that happened around us that really caught my attention, and look, there's some shittiness to this one, but I love it nonetheless. It's so one of the local atheist groups down in Cincinnati here did a clean up the highway get together. Only they did it on the exit before the Ark encounter.
Oh shit!
Yeah, they were.
That's hilarious.
I thought that was
petty.
Fantastic.
That's petty, and I love it.
Oh, it was great. Yeah,
because it's the best of both. You're being good.
Yeah.
You're doing good in the pettiest way possible.
I mean, yeah, but it more than that, it drew attention because like anybody who knows about the Ark encounter,
yeah,
that's an atheist or secular, pretty much doesn't like it, right?
Yeah.
So an event like that where you get a chance to kind of like,
how come they're not cleaning this
rub
up?
their noses in it a little bit.
How come they're not cleaning up this stretch of highway? Look who is, though.
It's going to draw more attention than not. Like that's a good way to build community.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the best way to build bridges, but it's between, Christians and us.
Right.
But at the same time, we have to start somewhere. We don't really have communities out there.
Right.
There's not a lot of support for secular or atheist people.
Right.
And even less in smaller and rural areas. I mean, like, we live in a pretty metro area.
Now we do, yeah.
But there's still very little as far as secular groups that are doing things. There is a group in our area, but they operate all through Meetup, and it's pretty small. So, I mean, generally
There's
speaking,
maybe like 5 to 10 people, if that.
I mean, I've been to a few events where there was like upwards of 10 to 14 people.
10 to 14? Wow.
But I mean,
I way underestimated.
I'm just saying, it's something.
Yeah.
But it's not a lot.
Yeah.
And if you get in a smaller area than we are, like where I grew up out in the country,
there's nothing.
You weren't allowed to be atheist. That's just not a thing that even exists in there.
If you are, nobody knows it because you know not to say it.
Right.
Yeah. We definitely were not talking about it at the school bus stop.
No.
Yeah. Oh. So I was curious what a meeting might look like. Like what kind of things do they do in these meetings that are not church? Right? So Sunday assemblies are family friendly. They are inclusive community gatherings that borrow the structure and social benefits of religious services, but without any supernatural beliefs. And many meetings might have music with like live bands or karaoke or sing-alongs or any combination of any of those, but no hymns.
Yeah.
Readings from literature, poetry, or science articles. Like a lot of them are very into science, which I was like, goddamn right you are. Loved it. They might have guest speakers. A lot of them have regular guest speakers come in, like actual doctors and scientists that come in and, talk at them. And they cover topics like personal growth or meaning, or a lot of them do science and tech and medicine.
Yeah.
Like new discoveries and stuff. They're very excited to share.
Right.
There also might be like a moment of reflection or silence or like guided meditation. Just,
sure.
You can,
whatever it is you want to take the time space for.
Yeah.
Right?
Like you can use it for a moment of gratitude. You can like scratch your ass or balance your checkbook.
Yeah.
Or you can like, I'm supposed to be practicing mindfulness and I'm not good at that because like,
I don't really see anything wrong with,
No.
meditation. Like, meditation is self-reflection, is a moment to calm your being as a whole and just kind of sit there with yourself. I mean, it just depends on how it just depends on how it's pitched. You know? Like there's not that there's anything wrong anytime with it. It's just a matter of what's your intention. Like I've said before, I don't like it when Christians pray for finding their keys or something like that. I think that's just such a bullshit
small stupid thing.
Like, come on.
Yeah. The meetings usually have a moment for like community announcements, notices about social plans like potlucks or outings or shit like that.
Yeah.
They have calls for volunteers because they do a lot of community work. They might give updates on members like graduations and birthdays, stuff like that. They have like work like something that you might find at a church,
sure.
Where people are like delivering the local news to ya. Like, hey, so-and-so just did this XYZ. Let's all give them a round of applause for achieving that hoop-de-doodle thing.
Right.
They also like gather donations to give to people in need within their group, or sometimes outside their group.
Yeah.
It just depends.
Sure.
They offer a moment of peace and solace, but without invoking God or any religious doctrine when they going back to that moment of silence.
Yeah.
They meet regularly, usually either monthly or every couple weeks. The one in London, I think, meets every couple weeks.
Okay.
They have to because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
So many people.
Right.
But the ones here in the U.S. seem to mostly meet monthly.
Got it.
Their motto, shared by all chapters, is, and this is international, all of them, this is like the bare minimum of what they have to do to like be considered
Sunday
part of
assembly.
this.
Right.
Yeah. Live better, help often, wonder more. And I'm
I like it.
Somebody wrote that for me, right?
Yeah.
So live better is we aim to provide inspiring, thought-provoking, and practical ideas that help people to live the lives they want to lead and be the people they want to be. They also like really seem to push the idea of celebrating life. Like,
I think
it's not YOLO, like go out there and take risks, but this is our one life. We are here. Let's try to make the most of it.
Well, yeah, I think that's a hallmark of any atheist that's living a good and healthy existence, right? Yeah. Or you're pretty damn sure this is all we get, right? So why waste it on things that are not fun or good or helpful or whatever it is your goal is, you should be working on that now and not waiting for something to happen after you're dead.
It's like the whole purpose-driven life, but without the spiritual hooverall behind it,
Yeah.
Like, you can have a purpose-driven life that has nothing to do with church and Bible and God.
Well, and I think that's the lesson that should be taken from all this, is that you don't need church to do what church does.
Right.
Right. That's what this proves.
I mean, like, we were talking about, everybody that follows us knows that we're like big fans of Star Trek, and we're working our way through the shows. And right now we just started Enterprise.
Yeah.
And, the first 4 or 5 handful of episodes, not good, you guys.
Nope.
But like, we watched an episode tonight that we really had to stop and think about it. And like, the main character of this particular episode is a doctor who is so excited. Like, he's the only one of his species on the ship. Yeah. And he's so excited to try new experiences and to connect with new things that he's never seen
new
before.
New foods, everything that he encounters is exciting to him.
It's a new experience. Like, he got invited to participate in somebody else's religious ceremony or spiritual ceremony. And like, I know that this is not like, this episode is not that. Okay.
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to say, let's all go out and join a church. That's not the point of what I'm trying to say.
Right.
What I'm trying to say is this individual was open to trying all kinds of different things and just enjoying life and enjoying what everybody else had to offer.
No, I think he embodies the idea of a healthy atheist or secular person, right? Like, he embodies that whole persona that you would strive to be as someone who is scientific and scientifically minded and also not believing in a higher power.
Right.
But I will say that their intro that they created for this show is the absolute trashiest piece of shit thing I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
I have to pretend it doesn't exist.
I'm so happy that there's a skip button on Paramount, because fuck that intro.
Fuck that intro.
That's all.
No, it's true.
I'm done trashing it.
No, I just, like, I love the way this character has been portrayed, and that he got like his own moment in this episode where it was all from his perspective.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And
he's one of our favorite characters right now.
Which I'm like worried that we're going to find out like he is a bad guy and eats like humans or something. Like, I won't be surprised.
He does have animals that are pretty vicious.
Yeah. So. And like sometimes he shares food with them. And
he does. Yeah.
Yeah. And he has like 3 wives back home or some shit like that.
2
wives, and they each have 2 husbands.
I think.
They're all like
intermarried.
Maybe
it was 3. You might be
I
right.
don't know.
I don't know. It was more than 1 for sure.
I don't know. I just like I just liked his openness to new cultures and new lifestyles, new foods, new experiences, new ideas of what spirituality means to different planets and different peoples.
Yeah.
And just that really appealed to me. I like that.
Definitely.
And I wish that religion here on this planet, and particularly in this country, wasn't so politically motivated so that I could appreciate those different types of spiritual moments.
No, and I think if it was mostly a personal connection or a personal journey that people took, it would be a lot easier for us as a whole, as a society, to digest.
I love the notion of visiting different churches and like seeing, how do these people celebrate life? How do these people celebrate death? How do these people find purpose in their daily life?
No, but and then that would be an amazing thing to encounter, right? Mm-hmm. The problem is that right now, a lot of the churches that exist out there in the United States,
I resent it because they are robbing me of that experience.
They celebrate hate.
Mm-hmm.
They don't celebrate life.
Right.
And that's the whole problem that we're encountering with our society with regard to religion and politics and all this stuff that's going on in our world right now. They center their ideas and their messages on hate and not agreeing with this culture or that culture. It's not about celebrating life. It's not about celebrating wins. It's not about celebrating fucking anything.
Right.
It's about fear and hate.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. And holding people back and holding people down.
Yeah.
And greed and getting mine.
And that's why we're angry.
Yeah.
But it's why it's nice to see a group like Sunday Assembly doing what they're doing.
Exactly.
Celebrating life and experience, pushing experiences and pushing community and pushing events and pushing, just that togetherness that you get from a community group,
Exactly. So that was Live Better, wanting people to, live the lives that they want to live and, be the people that they want to be.
Yeah.
The next one was Help Often. Assemblies are communities of action building lives of purpose, encouraging us all to help anyone who needs it to support each other. And I'm like, well, that's humanist.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. And the last one was Wonder More. And this is where science comes in. So I'm just all about it.
Oh, yeah.
Hearing talks, singing as one, listening to readings, and even playing games helps us to connect with each other and the awesome world we live in. But more than that, like they have a lot of, like I said, science-minded people who bring in other science leaders in their fields to come in and talk and teach. And that just so appeals to me. And that's what I would want. Like, if a group started in our area, I would be like, I'm going to be in charge of making sure that we get some of that.
Well, but because it's nice to have your curiosities, you part of your and I's existence is curiosity. Like that's the whole foundation of why we believe or don't believe a lot of the things that we encounter in our lives is because we are insatiably curious.
And
right?
We've also determined that that's the root of empathy is curiosity.
So, I mean, we're always wanting to explore new ideas and new takes on things and different ways of thinking about things. And it would be nice to have a community that also did the same thing, right?
Exactly.
And to bring that into that group is just such an amazing thing to have instead of just going over thousands of year old text that's not teaching you shit.
Right.
Like it's not teaching you anything.
Right. So the next section that I want to get into is it's church, but not church.
Right.
I love that. Like I said before, it's structurally similar to church services, but without deity, prayer, or worship. And the founders described it as a godless congregation that celebrates life, which I'm like, boom, there it is.
Yeah.
You know, the gathering is mostly for non-religious people who want a similar communal experience to a religious church, though religious people are also welcome. Again, you know, leave your assholishness
Leave your
at
God
the door.
at the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sunday assembly offers ritual and rhythm like to daily life. It helps combat loneliness, hopelessness, and nihilism and disconnection.
And I think that's something that's sorely needed in the atheist and secular community.
Exactly.
I mean, I really do.
I do too.
I've encountered a lot of atheists, and the majority of the people that we encounter are online, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that there are a strikingly large amount of lonely and cut off atheists in the world.
Or not just atheists, but people who are deconstructing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who are maybe not ready to call themselves atheists, but who have, for one reason or another, left their church home or their religious family.
Right. And I mean, there's even, you know, we've encountered wives who are not allowed to talk about their atheism because they have a husband that's not.
Yeah.
Or, you know, whatever. They're
easier,
expected to keep it secret.
It's easier to just not talk about it.
Right. I mean, there's so many different scenarios in the world where a community like this could help support somebody through something that's really hard, that's really difficult to deal with on your own, you know?
Loneliness is like so easy and so difficult all at the same time. It's just such a tragedy, and I completely relate to it.
Yeah.
One of the large components of this group is providing a way to socialize with like-minded people, and Sunday Assembly provides social connection, especially for those who left religion and missed that community. So
sure.
That's what we just said.
Yeah.
Their goal is to replicate the joy and connection of church without requiring a belief.
Yeah.
Which I love that.
Yeah.
Replicate joy and connection. Like, what? Put in the replicator. Coffee, black, you know? They're built around connection, celebration, and inspiration, supplying the emotional and social benefits of church minus the God talk.
Yeah.
Celebration of life brings people together around joy, not judgment. And the messages focus on science, compassion, wonder, and community. Members often cite reasons like values alignment. The group focuses on ethics, kindness, and critical thinking.
Yeah.
So
sounds good.
I know this is just like right up my alley.
Yeah.
The music that they have it's so funny. The music is almost always, well, it is always secular.
Sure.
They don't play hymns.
Right.
So think Queen, Bowie, or the Beatles, right?
Right.
Like popular mainstays like that they mentioned specifically in the newsletter and that I saw in some of the other groups are the most popular songs that they play, either like live bands that played at the Assembly Con.
Yeah.
Or that they, you know, listen to as part of their like little local meeting.
Right.
Is Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles.
Okay.
Don't Stop Believin' by Journey.
I don't know about that one, but
I think it's as like tongue in cheek.
Sure.
You know, like it's fun, you know.
Right.
Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves, Imagine by John Lennon, Lean on Me by Bill Withers, and Happy by Pharrell Williams. And I'm like, guys, every single one of those songs is in my happiness project, like my happy list of songs.
Yeah.
Every single one of those is already in that list. Yeah. I was like looking for, you know, something that I didn't already have. And I was like, nope, got all those.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of their things on their website had a quote where somebody was quoted as saying, go out and do something kind, something brave, or something curious. And that is often like a sign off that they'll give at one of their meetings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, that needs to, if we start one here, that's got to be ours. Go out and do something kind, something brave, or something curious.
Yeah.
That's just lovely. Okay. Next section is fuck, I want one.
Yeah. I mean, don't
What
we
the
all?
hells? Yeah.
We need that.
Okay, these secular gatherings mimicking traditional churches, they're flourishing. Especially
not enough.
Not enough, but they're picking up speed again.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Events branded as atheist megachurches have taken hold in cities like LA, San Diego, Nashville, and New York.
Could you see me as a pastor at one of the at a mega church here?
They don't refer to themselves as pastors.
Whatever the hell they are. Whatever they are.
Speaker.
What are they?
Head volunteer, leader, organizer.
Got it.
Administrator.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, not a pastor.
There's got to be a better name for it than that, though.
Guru, head spaghetti guy. I don't know, fucking meatball. I'll be the potato head, you be the meatball.
Yeah.
So anyway, those cities again are LA, San Diego, Nashville, and New York. That's where the biggest groups in America are.
Okay.
Their newest assembly, according to their website, or newsletter, according to the newsletter, is in North Idaho.
Wow.
Right? I was like, God damn, that's epic.
Yeah.
And they are the first group that actually got their shit together, and they're using Substack.
Okay.
And they put that in the newsletter as a, well, we need to up our fucking game. And the people that were like, as far as we know, they're the first ones to do this, and that sounds like something we should probably check out.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn, Idaho. Like, okay, we see you.
Yeah.
They don't have one in Ohio.
I didn't think so.
Because
we've looked into this stuff kind of before.
Yeah.
Like on a very
I was hoping that I just didn't
level,
know the name and missed it.
Right,
know?
Sure.
No, the closest ones to us are going to be either San Diego or...
San Diego?
I'm sorry, not San Diego.
Jesus.
Detroit.
I was like, what the fuck?
There's one in Detroit.
Okay.
And there's one in Pittsburgh.
All right.
And they're about equidistant from us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Sorry.
San Diego is nowhere near
No,
us.
I know. I'm sorry. No, it's Detroit and Pittsburgh are the two that are closest to us. Like,
I was about to raise my hand and be like, I think Idaho is closer.
Right. Yeah. And neither of those are close.
No.
Is what I'm saying. So it's not like we could like...
I mean, within 4 hours.
Right, but if we had like the money and the time, would we go visit like once a month? Maybe if we had friends up there.
It might be worth it to like start, getting ideas to start one around here.
Having said that, all of the ones that have a live stream, which I'm going to name the ones that do.
Yeah.
They highly recommend, if you are geographically located in such a way that you cannot attend in person, please join a live stream and watch and hang out, then start to get some friends to come over to watch. And this is how you like build your own local group.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what we should do? We should start a YouTube watch on our Discord.
I was headed that direction.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley and LA do their live stream on the second Sunday of every month, and then they post it on YouTube after.
Okay.
And then San Diego and Pittsburgh do theirs on the third Sunday of every month, and then they post theirs on YouTube as well.
No one does it actually live though?
No, they do their live streams.
Oh, and then they have a posted version later.
Yes.
Okay.
Directly after.
I got it. Okay.
Like literally the words that I said.
Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah. So Silicon Valley and Los Angeles, second Sunday of the month is their live stream.
Okay.
After which they put it on YouTube.
They put it on YouTube. Yeah. Got it.
San Diego and Pittsburgh, third Sunday of every month is their live stream.
Okay.
After which
got it.
Put it on YouTube.
Got it.
So we have choices, is what I'm saying here. Okay. What they recommend if you don't have one in your area and you can't, attend one in person is, like I said, start watching these. Please, they're like, please, you're invited.
Yeah.
And they said start holding a regular gathering, every month.
Right.
Build a team of volunteers from there, like over time as you pick up people in your area.
Right.
And then eventually when you get enough people, host a larger assembly in a public venue. And then at that point, and they have people that will mentor you through this to help you get it set up. But when you are big enough to start hosting it in a venue is the point at which they're like, okay, you're ready.
Yeah.
So basically they're like, you build it, it will come. Which, I mean, I get it. Like, they're not even in the fucking country, you know? So,
yeah. Right.
But they're very eager for these groups to pop up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I was like, I got to look at a calendar because I now have a date on the second and third Sunday of each month. And we do our live on the fourth Sunday of each month. So apparently the second, third, and fourth Sunday of each month, I'd be busy. All right. So here are some things that different meetings, like activities that they do that if we ever started one that we want to keep in mind.
Yeah.
The stuff that we could do.
Right.
Most important one would be like community service and outreach. Like that's a big deal to them. Sure. So you could have your group join a local cleanup or volunteer at a food bank, a blood drive, have a community art wall, or have a book table or like start one of those like tiny lending libraries. Yeah. Like I love that idea. I love tiny lending libraries.
Oh yeah, no, I know you do. Mm-hmm. I mean, I do too.
I think
they're great.
And then the next category would be hobbies. So you could have like a book night, a game night, a movie night, a dance night. I don't know about that one because mom ain't wanting to dance. Okay. Yoga, walking, biking, or hiking. You could also have a Post-it wall for anonymous gratitude or affirmation Post-it notes.
Sure.
So, that's fun stuff. Another category is lifestyle and learning. So you could have like actual guided meditation, mindfulness and or breathing exercises, camping trips like some of these guys do. Yeah. They had a picture and I can't remember if it was the website or the newsletter where a group went camping together. And I was like, oh my God. They have scheduled educational speakers. Like I already said that they have the science people and scientists is a word. Right. And doctors and stuff come in and talk. They have other educational speakers come in. Yeah. They also have TED Talk nights where they'll like get a group together and like watch really good TED Talks.
That's fun.
And I love TED Talks.
Or even maybe host your own little TED Talk. You know?
Right. I mean, that's kind of what these are all about. Right. You know?
Yeah.
They also have people that meet up outside of the monthly thing, like the potluck that I mentioned before. Right. They go out, they meet for coffee dates or brunch. They go bar hopping together, restaurant hopping. Like you have a group.
And community becomes friends?
Yeah. And you do shit together,
That's
right?
Crazy.
They also suggest, don't forget to keep in mind that you're going to have social needs that are specific to your community. So you might want, like, if there's a lot of young families, you might want a parents' night. And toward that end, you might want, like, activities for kids thing, you know. If you have a lot of people in the queer community, you might want to have, like, a special group just for them. Yeah. You know, like, gear it toward, if you are a really diverse group, you might want to have, like, a BIPOC night, you know, just any kind of thing that is like your particular thing. Right. Your community is going to have its own needs and you should keep that in mind.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was like, oh my God, I want one. So of course, anything good in life comes with criticism. Yeah. And so one of the criticisms is, why mimic a church? That's gross. Some atheists see it as unnecessary or like too close to religion and form. And I'm like, it's a fucking club. Yeah. It's a club and they do club things that are fun.
I think that we're too close to, like, I think the reason it catches flack is because we're too close to where religion still is harmful and that aspect. And I think that's just going to be, it's hard for some people to digest that. I think that's not something that they're able to process away. Like that imagery of a church is just something too
it only can
visceral.
Belong to God.
Right. And now the flip side of that is that, you know, that imagery, because it's so prevalent in our society, is also what's going to probably garner a lot more attention for these groups to build these communities in the first place.
Right.
to me, it's kind of like a stepping stone. You have to go here to get there.
Right.
Right.
Well, what I don't understand is a lot of the, the complaint that I just said came from other atheists who are like, why are we emulating churches? And I'm like, because churches are the biggest club and they know how to club like nobody else.
Yeah.
Like, I want the best club, don't you?
Right.
Like, we don't have to like mimic them and use pews. We can, up them one and use couches.
Right.
Like, but like the meetups and all that shit, like they got it down. They know how to club. Okay.
Well, I would say that probably, one of the easiest things to do would be to get, co-opt with like a Unitarian church or something.
Yeah.
And use their space, right?
Exactly.
So you're going to end up using a churchish space to do your atheist secular, meetup thing,
right.
Group thing.
But what I was going to get at though is that's the complaint from atheists. Now, when you hear the same complaint from actual people who belong to churches, they're like, how dare you call it a church? You can't have church without God. And I'm like, bitches, they are not calling it a church.
Right.
They are calling it Sunday assembly.
Right.
And
it's everybody else usurping what's going on and calling it church for atheists.
It's church
or whatever,
without church for atheists, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you don't have to go there. And if you don't like it, you don't have to call it a church. Because, yes, for you, church can only exist where there is God, which is so fucking cute. Because also it says somewhere in the New Testament roundabout that it only takes, I think, one person for a church to exist or some shit like that. Because, church is not a building. It's like a feeling or some
sounds like that's probably in there.
Yeah. Like, I'm just like, you don't even know, so fuck off with your bullshit. Also, you don't own language. You do not own language. It does not fucking belong to you. English is not a dead language. It still grows and changes. That's why we have LOL. LOL. That's why we have, like, STFU, Right. That's why we have, that's why we have words that exist today that did not exist yesterday. Oh, you cannot even get me started on the topic of dead versus living language and the growth of dialects and the way meanings change, connotation versus denotation. I'm like, how fucking dare you? How very dare you assume that you get to own the word church and the meaning thereof? Eat my whole entire ass. Seriously. I mean, come at me and let's talk about how y'all think that all of a sudden your grammar and but they, them, that's only for plurals. Like, get the fuck out of here. Yesterday, you did not know the difference between your with an apostrophe versus without it. And now all of a sudden you're a goddamn grammarian. Fuck off. Like, I cannot. No.
Let us know how you really feel.
Oh, I did, and I will, and I'll probably do it again. But just, they don't get to own language.
Right.
If I want to call it a fucking church, I will. Yeah. And you don't have to like it. I didn't ask you. The funny thing is that your opinion doesn't goddamn matter. So anyway, you're so cute. Okay. Anyway, another criticism.
Yeah.
Ooh, I need to calm down. I got myself heated up. Another criticism is sustainability. And I kind of got into this a little bit earlier. Most groups do rely on volunteers. So long-term consistency is hard.
Sure.
Because it's not a paid position. So eventually people are going to burn out, Like, you can't keep running the same show for years on end and expect that the same person is going to keep being in charge. Like, eventually they're going to, tap out.
Right.
So,
I mean, it's hard to keep doing anything for free forever.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Like, even when you're, super invested emotionally, it just isn't always feasible.
Right.
So, another problem is leadership splits. The founders had a public falling out in 2014 over some organizational directions. And I know like one of those was, I think the New York group split up because one of them wanted to be like way more out atheist than the rest of them.
Okay.
And I don't want to talk out of my ass. I can only imagine that one probably wanted to be like the angry atheist and like be out there like shaking fists.
Sure.
And, which is fine. But
it's not going to be Sunday Assembly.
Sunday Assembly is like, no, we're atheists and that's cool, but we also just want to chillax.
I don't think they even really claim atheist. They claim non-religious. You know, like they're very not. It's just not God. That's all.
Yeah,
like
they just want to chillax and help people.
Right.
Like that's and do a little bit of science.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
Like they're not out here to change the world per se or like rally on the Capitol or anything like there might be people that do that.
Sure.
I'm not saying that they don't.
Right.
But that is not the focus, the primary focus.
The focus is to build community and to create a place where people feel safe gathering and creating friends and having a place to go.
Yeah. And I think that there's room for both. And I think that there's need for both. So I'm not trying to criticize one or the other. Right. They can coexist even. But I can understand if they had a difference of direction, why they would split.
Sure.
And that happens in the best of groups.
Definitely.
So another one is the reluctance toward group identity. Many atheists prefer decentralized or individual engagement because, I mean, like me and you, we're like, I want to go hang out with other atheists so that we can like go bowling and not be like, God bless you every time like somebody falls down or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, if I'm talking to somebody about like my wrist hurts from, you know, where I broke it before, I don't have to worry about somebody saying, well, I'll pray for you. Like, well, thank you, but no, thank you. But I mean, you can. I mean, oh God, how do I do this?
I'm gonna call a little bullshit on the people that are atheists that say that they don't want atheist groups and all this, that, and the other, because many of those people are on Twitter or were on Twitter, now on Blue Sky, and they, on purpose, friend and follow and comment on every atheist that they can find.
Right.
Right. So they are still seeking out a community. It's just not an in-person community.
Right.
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 And I'm not saying that there may be an atheist out there that's truly wanting no community or no gathering or in whatever. Person. But they're not commenting to all the other atheists about it because they don't have that because they don't want it.
Right. Well, and my thing is like, fine, you don't want to go, don't go. Like,
right. Yeah. No one's making you go. But
I didn't understand how, like, why is that a thing that makes other people not be allowed to go or whatever?
I think people just like to comment what they think is.
We don't need that. We don't have clubs for non-stamp collectors. And I'm like, no, but I want to have a group that I can, again, you know, say my wrist hurts and not have it turn to religion. I want to hang out with some people where I can talk about the gas prices and we all know what I mean. And we all know what's happening in the world. And, you know, we don't have people that are like blaming the Democrats who aren't even in fucking office. Like, I don't want that.
Right.
You know, I don't care what the activity is. That's not the point. I want to be around people just once a month.
Yeah.
Just once a month. It would be nice to just like hang out and not have to bite my goddamn tongue and be scared that if I say like, oh, it's hotter than hell this year and it's just getting hotter all the time, I don't have to hear them sigh because I brought up climate change and we all know it's a hoax.
Well, and more than that, I think that you and I would ascribe to the idea that we want you to do whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
You know, as long as it's legal and safe and not dangerous to other people.
Well, yeah.
You know, like that's generally our mantra is that you do you. You know, like it's not, you don't have to go to these groups, but why trash them? If it does something good for somebody else, what is the harm in going to a group of people who are promoting science and curiosity and helping the community and doing positive things? You know, like, what is the harm in that?
I could kind of see your dad, like, poo-pooing the idea of it. Just because some people like to poo-poo things that people get excited about.
I don't know that he would do that. He may not want to go, but I don't think he would do that.
I don't know. There are certain people that are, like, dream killers. I call them dream murderers. And, like, you bring up something fun and they automatically are like, but the cost. Or you're like, oh, this would be fun. And they're like, yeah, but we can't because, and like they have a reason. And you're like, Jesus Christ, I just thought it would be, okay, I'm talking about my husband.
I was going to say, I was like, Jesus. Sounds like you're referencing everything we've talked about recently.
No, I call you the murderer because anytime I say something like fun, you immediately like start calculating how expensive or difficult it'll be. And I'm like, I just wanted to say that it sounded fun.
Yeah.
And like, I think that there are people in the world like that. And so like, there's these groups, like they're overly practical when it's not necessary. Right. And so like, there's people that are like, we don't need this. And I'm like, you're right. We shouldn't need it. But the fact of the matter is we do. So shut up, dream killer.
I just would like to point out who are we going to see next month?
Oh my God. I'm so excited, you guys. You're taking me to see Josh Johnson.
And then who are we going to see the next month?
You're taking me to see it's a tribute band to the Eagles.
Yeah. You're like shitting on me here for like dream killer shit. And I'm like, I've set up 2 things recently.
No, I know.
It'd be really fun that we're going to.
I know.
And I'm like, come on.
I know. You're totally right. No, you're totally right. You're totally right. To be fair, one is free. And I'm just saying.
At least I find a way to work around my dream killing.
You're right.
Yeah,
absolutely. And the other one, I was having a really bad day and you were trying to cheer me up and you are the best husband and I love you. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see Josh Johnson. And then like, what's really cool is I was talking to my therapist about how I'm really excited. Like I'm looking forward to going and she was like, why does that name sound familiar? And I was like, oh, you need to look him up right now. And you want to watch him.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. He's a cutie pie. He's the best. I love him so much. And then so she looked at him and she was like, oh, I do know him. And so then, part of my therapy session was talking about Josh Johnson because of course it was. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say except just one more time, fuck murderers of joy and fuck people who don't let you just do the things that are good for you and that help you move forward in the world and that try to own language.
Right.
I hate them.
Also,
guys.
Support Sunday Assembly by going to see their live events that they have online. Yes. Or if you were near one, go to one for us.
Yes, and let us know.
Back.
Yes.
And if you are able to help set one up in your area.
Yeah.
Or, if you're in the Dayton area and you want to get together and, start working on one here, let us know.
I can tell you, second and third Sundays, I will be checking these folks out online.
Yeah.
Both.
No, definitely.
Because I want to start one here. And the first step is watching them in their live stream.
And reaching out to some people in the community. It'd be a good thing to reach out to some of the people that are in charge. We didn't do that for this episode, which we probably should have. But, we don't do... We're not good at interviews.
And that would have required planning ahead. And I just planned this topic today. So yeah.
All right. Well, do you have anything else to share about Sunday Assembly?
I fucking love them. And I'm probably going to be contacting them to have somebody on eventually because I'm invested.
SundayAssembly.org.
Yes.
And we'll try to put some links in the show notes as well. And go check them out. And we're going to try, I think, to have maybe a live event on our Discord, maybe at least once a month. I'm not sure. We haven't really sorted this out yet.
No, we haven't discussed it at all.
Something else I wanted to bring up here, and this is something I haven't even discussed with wife, but I think after this episode, for our special episodes, I'm going to go to a model where we're going to have them available to everybody, but only on Patreon.
Okay.
So they're not going to be gate kept anymore. And I think most of our supporters support us because they support us.
Okay.
So
until we get our shit together a little better.
Well, it's easier on me. I don't have to make 2 different episodes. I can just make one, and it gives people a reason to join us on Patreon. So I like that idea. It'll be open to anybody, even at a free level. This one will go out to everybody. This is going to be an open one. But next time we do a special episode, it will be Patreon only, but open to anyone.
Okay.
So
got it.
Yeah, I think that's all I've got.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
That sounds good.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. That was our episode about Sunday Assembly, and we will see you again very soon for the
wrap up of Zechariah.
We'll see you then.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.